Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Data Dispatch. Let's talk about C3.AI and especially where the stock could be heading in the future and looking at its price metrics and possibility of a short squeeze. The reason why a lot of people are asking about that is because it's one of the most heavily shorted AI stocks and the actual percentage of the amount of shares that are shorted is continuing to increase. We're going to be talking about this, especially with C3.AI. They do have their earnings that are expected to release September 6th post-market. That's only a few weeks away, and that could really lead to a large influx in volatility in terms of its price action. We'll be analyzing this, of course. If you're new to the channel, hit that like button, subscribe for the daily videos, and I can't thank you guys for watching. And of course, I'm not a financial advisor. Please take everything I say with a grain of salt. I'm just a guy on YouTube doing research and spreading what I find with you guys. Now, pull it up on the screen right here. At the last market close, we see C3.AI kind of having a little bit of a cool off right here. You can see C3.AI closes right underneath $30. Now, just a few weeks ago, we were hitting these kind of recently swing highs of 48, 44, and kind of consolidating in at 37. It just really wasn't able to hold this kind of price premium that we've seen. One of the biggest criticisms for C3.AI, especially with earnings coming out here in the near future, is it too high of a basically stock compared to the revenue and the metrics and the financials that are coming in within the company. And what we're seeing right now is a little bit of a cool off at $29. Now, like I said, we do have those earnings that will be expected here on September 6th. Now, last quarter, they were able to beat their earnings by earnings per share and had actual great revenue metrics, beating it by $1 million. Now, they're expected to have negative 0.17 cents or negative 17 cents here per share on a normalized estimate. Now, there's lots of revisions that are occurring with their actual upcoming predictions, but it could be a large influence to the price target here. If C3.AI does not meet their earnings or their expectations, basically with the revenue metrics, they could be possibly testing support coming down here into the $21. Now, also, we have seen a large influx into the whole AI industry. We've seen stocks like Nvidia, which just actually recently smashed their earnings, bring a lot of confidence back into the AI industry. We've seen other stocks like PLTR that we've covered on the channel gaining a lot of steam and becoming one of the most trending stocks. Now, C3.AI has its ticker symbol AI, which makes it very trendy just in its actual name. So looking at the metrics, do we have a lot of hype coming into the AI industry that could be influencing some of its price action? However, if the business metrics don't match up with the premiums that basically the actual stock costs right now in terms of its valuation, we could possibly see a cool off. However, with the cool off, that leads to the next question: what about the potential of a short squeeze? People have been asking this, especially since C3 has some of the highest shares that are shorted in the AI industry. And if we go here to shortsqueeze.com and look at AI, the ticker symbol right here, you can see that right now we have about 34% of the shares that are short. That's the short percent of the float. That's at 34% right now, with the current ones that are outstanding. Shares in the float are basically available for public trade is at 96 million, and 32 million of those are shorted right now as we speak. Now, this was hanging around 32%, got down to 30, but as we've seen the price action actually come down and people could be maybe anticipating a bearish earnings report, the actual short percent of the float is up here, 34%. It's continuing to increase, and especially it's an interesting metric to look at, especially with those earnings coming out in the near future. Could C3.AI eventually come down in price or be subject possibly to some type of a short squeeze? Now, one important number to really look at where this might not be 100% probable yet is the short interest ratio, otherwise known as the days to cover. Now, this has increased slightly, but with the short interest ratio basically is basically the amount of shares that are shorted divided by the daily average trading volume. Right now, that's at 27 million. So you got about 32 million right now that are short, divided by 27 million brings you to about a ratio of about 1.2. Now, this was just at 1, but 1 to 1.2 is not a large difference. And what this really does mean in theory is that if all the shorted shares, if they wanted to cover their shorts, they could do this most likely in about one trading day. Where you can have the effect of a short squeeze that becomes more exponential is if you have days to cover that increase least like 5 plus. We're talking like 7 to 8. Now, this doesn't mean that if trading in steam and the trendiness of AI, C3.AI does go down, we could have the actual trading volume continue to decrease, which would actually decrease the daily trading volume and increase the actual days to cover. Because right now we just had a volume of 11.96 million. So if we have some cool off, price going down at C3.AI with more shares that are shorted, that's when it could likely possibly be more of a potential to look at that opportunity. However, personally, I just don't see it right now in myself. And I think C3.AI, as in terms of a stock, I'm going to be keeping it on my watch list. Reason being is I think it's just too expensive of a stock right now. And there's a lot of trend that's into the actual AI markets. I think some of these AI stocks will need to experience a little bit of a cool down before they really become ultimately attractive to me personally. But of course, make sure you do what you want to do in your heart, make your own decisions, and I'll catch you guys later. Take care, peace out, and have a great day.